I'm Alana and welcome to Button Bash. An upcoming first-person shooter developed in Melbourne, Australia needs players to cheat in order to actually win. The game is called Screen Cheat and all players will be invisible, meaning the only way to find anyone else is to look at their screen like back in the GoldenEye 64 days, though it was a little frowned upon back then. It's a little more complicated than that though, because things won't be that obvious. Apparently players will actually need to familiarize themselves with landmarks within colored sections of the game to be able to track down anyone else, so not too obvious. Screen Cheat was actually developed during the 2014 Global Game Jam originally, and it scored the Jammer's Game of Choice Award and honorable mentions for Best Accessibility, Best Use of Theme, and Judge's Choice for Best Game. The beta will actually be starting on August 4th, and the final game is set to release on PC, Mac, and Linux in October 2014. I wonder how that'll work actually, since it seems like it's more suited to console, but I guess we'll see.
Screen cheating is a serious affliction, but it can be cured because finally there's a game out there for those affected by the compulsion to screen cheat. It's called, well, Screen Cheat. The radical new treatment developed by Melbourne-based team Samurai Punk pits 4 players against one another in dishonorable battle. As everyone is invisible, the only way to beat your opponents is to screen cheat.
Crytek, the developers of Crysis, were recently rumored to be having some financial struggles, but apparently that's just not the case. There were talks of unpaid workers and some key developers have left the company, but Crytek issued a statement saying something along the lines of, "Oh, we're just refocusing," like we haven't heard that before. Crytek told Polygon, "Our evolution from a development studio to an online publisher has required us to refocus our strategies. These challenges go along with an increased demand for capital, which we have secured. Ultimately, with our organization, capitalization, portfolio, and technologies, we have now laid the foundations for securing Crytek's future, not just in the short term, but also long term. We are confident that we will be able to share more positive news on Crytek's progress soon." They also said that they haven't given employees quite as much information as they probably should have, and anonymous sources within the company certainly agree, saying there have even been mass holdouts by unpaid employees. A live-action The Last of Us movie has been in the works at Screen Gems for a while now, but some more details on the upcoming film was shared at San Diego Comic-Con on the weekend. The game's director, Neil Druckmann, is already writing the script for the film, while Sam Raimi, who worked on The Evil Dead, is producing. There's no director as of yet, but apparently Maisie Williams, better known as Arya Stark in the Game of Thrones TV series, is being considered for Ellie's role. Raimi also mentioned that he's planning to find a role in the film for Bruce Campbell.
Groovy.
The movie is going to focus on Joel and Ellie's relationship specifically, and it's supposed to be a fairly accurate ode to the game, though the ending may be different. Unfortunately, the movie is still a few years away. Who knows, we might even have a Last of Us 2 before it actually comes out.
What do we do?
You make every shot count. You see, I believe everything happens for a reason. We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
After all we've been through, everything that I've done, it can't be for nothing.
Halo 2 Anniversary is a HD remake of 2004's Halo 2 with some extra features. It's set to release on November 11th as part of the Halo The Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One, and a new trailer was shown off at San Diego Comic-Con. Let's take a look.
I must get inside. Then mount up, Orbit.
Your pal, where's he going?
Earth, to finish what we started. And this time, none of you will be left behind.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
Jump in this tank, roll across the bridge, and blow up any inhuman son of a bitch dumb enough to get between him and the prophet of regret. Pull yourself together, because you're going with him.
Destiny, the upcoming shooter MMO from Bungie that has just finished its open beta, is apparently going to have technically equal graphics on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions. The Xbox One beta was only running at 900p with the PS4 at 1080p, but both are set to be in full 1080p when the game launches. Eurogamer's Digital Foundry found that the only noticeable differences between the two versions in the beta were in environment details, with the Xbox One running in 900p at the time being slightly fuzzier. However, the actual quality of textures, well design, and filtering were a complete match. One small difference that may be present in the full release is that the HUD on the Xbox One is 2D and static, where the PS4 HUD is 3D. Digital Foundry suggested that this is just a very small detail that mostly comes down to personal preference. This is nice to see for the Xbox One owners though, since the PS4 actually has technically better hardware, but maybe it just doesn't make that much of a difference. Destiny is set to release on September 9th on the Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3. It was almost 4 years ago that a pair of Street Fighter and Tekken crossover games were announced at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010, and Capcom's Street Fighter vs. Tekken came out 2 years later. The other half of the pair is Tekken vs. Street Fighter, but we're still waiting on that from Bandai Namco. Thankfully, at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, Tekken director Katsuhiro Harada has confirmed that Tekken vs. Street Fighter is still in development. Apparently, Bandai Namco is simply waiting for the right time to release the game, and they've had the same attitude towards the marketing. It's nice to know we'll be seeing it eventually. I'm Alana, and thanks for watching Button Bash.